Like something different, doesn't it? You're pouring that.
All right, we are joined by Iowa head coach Lisa Bluter and student athletes Caitlin Clark and Monica Sonano. We will open with a statement first from Coach Bluter.
Just coming out, it feels good to play again. You know, we were so excited just to play because, you know, it'd been a while since the Big Ten tournament. Happy with our performance, the way we shot the ball today. You know, defense, we held them to 11 points in the second half. The crowd was amazing. You know, it's a Friday afternoon. It's a work day, and we have 14,000 plus in here on a Friday afternoon, and we're going to need every one of them to come back on Sunday afternoon because we know that's going to be a good challenge. But just really, you know, our bench came in and did well for us too. We were able to rest our starters quite a bit, which is really nice when you just have a one-day prep for the next game.
All right, thank you, Coach. We will now open for questions from our student athletes.
Susan Harmon, HawkFanatic.com. For the players, you guys got off to a tremendous start. Caitlin made her first 4 shots, made 2 free throws, and all of a sudden, you know, you guys were just running up and down. What did that feel like in this atmosphere?
I thought it felt really good, you know, to come out and start like that. I think that's huge, especially when you've had time off, like just not playing games. It's kind of different. You know, we come to practice every day and we scrimmage our practice boys, but it doesn't quite give you that real game simulation. But yeah, I thought it was really good. It was good to see. Honestly, I thought they made some tough shots in the first half. We were contesting them. They made some tough 2s, some tough 3s, maybe a couple miscommunications by us. But I thought, you know, we cleaned up our defense a little there in the second half, and it was a lot better. But I think especially the play where Molly got a fast break and won, that was pretty tremendous, and I think that was the loudest I heard our crowd all day. They were, you know, screaming. So like Coach Bluter said, our crowd was incredible, and we're so lucky that we get to play in that type of atmosphere.
Caitlin, you just talked about that a little bit. That turned into a 6-point possession with the 2 free throws. I'm sorry, Jeff Linder, Cigarettes, because that 2 free throws, and then I think Stolke had finished it off. So that was kind of at the end of a little bit of a lull for you guys, and that really got you going again. Can you tell us about that juncture?
Yeah, well, honestly, I guess I didn't really even know that rule with the intentional foul. So then you get 2 free throws in the ball rather than just the 1 free throw in the ball back. So I guess I don't know everything. Like I like to think, but the ref explained it to me. But no, you know, that was a huge possession. I mean, it's anytime you can go down the court and get 6 points, that's basically unheard of. So, and like you said, I think Hannah Stolke played an incredible game today. 5 for 5 from the field, 50% from the free throw line, and 5 rebounds, which is, you know, when we have her playing like that and she can come off the bench, it just gives us a whole nother weapon that people have to scheme for. So, you know, like you said, I think Hannah played tremendous tonight.
Hello, Scott Docterman with The Athletic. In the kind of the pre-run up to this, Southeast Louisiana had said that you hadn't seen a defense like them. You scored 95 against them. In what ways were they different than anything you ever faced, either Monica or Caitlin? And was it as challenging as, say, Maryland or some of the other defenses you've played against?
Great question. I think that, I mean, we play a lot of really great defenses. I think that's the great thing about being in the Big Ten Conference is we have the opportunity to go and play against really good teams every night. They had a good game. They had a good defense. I'm just going to leave it at that.
I also think that we've seen just about anything you can do in the game of basketball at this point. You know, we've seen box and 1, we've seen triangle and 2, we've seen zone, we've seen everything. You know, they were physical. They were, you know, they were a scrappy team. They were picking up full court, man to man. But I really don't know what there is out there that you can do to us that we really haven't seen. But you know, we're going to be ready for whatever people throw at us. And like, I mean, Georgia plays as another type of zone. So I think, you know, our experience this whole season, I think we're just really ready for what anybody's going to give us.
Yeah, Emmy Vopel, ESPN.com. Caitlin, can you talk about your defense? One of the things that their coach and players said was the zone, they couldn't stop. They couldn't handle it. And I just wonder if you could talk about that and the way that's been effective at times for you guys this year.
Yeah, I think, you know, our player-to-player was okay, but it wasn't working as what we would have liked. And like I said earlier, I think they made some tough shots, some contested 2s that, you know, those are hard shots that we want people to take on us. But when we went to the zone defense, it really struggled. Like they seemed to get no penetration. We were long, getting our arms out. I thought we got some deflections. Gabby has 3 steals. She's really active at the top of her zone for us. So I think it just really puts people in a tough place to, try to get the ball into the paint. And then, if you don't have more than a couple of 3-point shooters on the 3-point line, it puts your team in a tough spot for sure. So, we like to change up our defense quite a bit. It keeps people on their toes. You don't really know what to do versus it. So, I like when we're playing good man-to-man and zone defense.
Yeah, just kind of expanding on that. He beat me to the punch on that. I think 43 might be a season low or close to it for you guys. 11 in the second half. Just what was working defensively with that zone?
Yeah, I think we were just moving really well, talking in it. It was nice to kind of give. The first quarter our defense wasn't working very well, so it was nice to kind of finally get it to click going into that zone. But it's all about moving hard, talking, communicating well in it. It's really all it is. So once we kind of get to that level and we're playing it consistently, it feels so nice. So I'm glad we could get there today and kind of prepare it for future use.
Chloe Peterson, Daily Iowa. And Caitlin, you seemed pretty animated on the bench in the fourth quarter. What did it mean to get everybody in the game, especially going forward in the tournament?
Yeah, I love seeing my teammates succeed, and I think when we have opportunities to get everybody in the game, especially like when we did in the Big Ten Tournament Championship, it's fun to see them. And I thought people off the bench played really well. Addison O'Grady comes in, is 3 for 3, and maybe at times this year hasn't got the minutes that maybe she did last year or wanted to, but she's kept working. She's a good defender too. She's really long. She has 5 rebounds as well. I thought Molly played really well. Taylor comes in and makes a 3. So, it's just really fun seeing them, have their moment as well. Us 5 starters, we get the bulk of the minutes, but, those kids still come to practice every single day and work super hard. And you see the extra time that they spend in the gym or doing extra conditioning or extra lifting. So it's fun to see them get in, and the crowd loves it too. So, our Hawkeye fans, they love supporting everybody, which is really fun.
All right, we've got time for one final question.
Scott mentioned the comments that, John Steppe, Cedar Rapids Gazette. Scott mentioned the comments that the Southeastern Louisiana coach had ahead of time about their defense, about that you guys aren't a big defensive team. Is that something that you use as motivation?
Yeah, I think you can use anything as motivation. Maybe our offense is better than our defense, but we still think we're a good defensive team. And we knew, our starting group has been together for, 3 years now. And maybe our first year we weren't a great defensive team, but we knew if we want to reach the Final Four this year, we have to get better at defense. And we've spent a lot of time on it. We've really bought into getting better. So, we know that your defense can always be there. Maybe the offense won't always be there, but that is always something you can fall back on, and we will need to fall back on. We are a good defensive team. It's just believing in that. And we have a lot of different defenses we can run. So, I think you can use anything as motivation.
All right, ladies, thanks for joining us today. We'll continue with questions for Coach Bluter. Noah down front.
Kelly Huseman, Hawkeye Report. Southeastern Louisiana's head coach said that she thought it was a great game plan by you to switch to the zone in the second quarter. What did you see from your defense that made you want to switch to that zone? And I know you guys have run it this year and felt good about it, but you guys stuck with it. What was kind of the reasoning for that?
Well, really, it was to kind of preserve our legs a little bit too. First of all, it was working, and second of all, why run around and chase screens if you don't have to? And we're going to play again on Sunday. It's kind of nice to be able to sit in a zone and maybe not have to play all those screens.
Kennington Smith, Des Moines Register. Coach, the other day you mentioned a big key in the Big Ten tournament is something that you wanted to carry into the NCAA tournament was good ball movement and having the whole team engaged. And you look down, 27 assists on 36 makes. How would you describe how the team shared the ball today?
Yeah, I thought we did a really good job of that. Anytime you're having 27 assists, that's pretty good. And, of course, a lot of them we know Caitlin and Monica, but there were some other ones too. And I thought we really picked up right where we left off. I really do. I don't think we got any, rust in us over the last 2 weeks. If anything, we got a little sharper.
Scott Docterman with The Athletic. Lisa, one element, I guess, to Caitlin's game that's probably 15th on the list that people talk about, and maybe is her toughness, physical toughness. She seems to be bigger and more physical this year, but also to be able to sustain that blow to the face at the rim and then hit 2 free throws.
Yeah.
I guess, how has she been able to do that? And then to be able to walk up to the free throw line and do that, that says a lot about her, it seems.
Yeah, she did put on about 8 pounds of muscle this summer. She knew she needed to in order to really keep competing and be able to absorb that contact and stay on her feet and finish at the rim. I really, because I could have had anybody shoot those free throws, and I knew she would be madder than a pistol if I would have had somebody else shoot those free throws other than her after she endured getting the smack to the face. I'm glad she was able to step up there and make them. That was an unfortunate, situation that happened.
Zach Martin, Quad City Times. Lisa, I don't know how often you look at a players plus and minus, but Molly Davis plus 36, and for her to get her first NCAA tournament win of her career, just speak to how she played.
Yeah, we just value Molly so much, and she flies under the radar a little bit. She's kind of unassuming, but she really means a lot to our team. Everything from practice to being able to play the 1 or the 2 to coming in and giving us great minutes. And she's just like, she requires no work. I mean, she's a person that does her job, and she's quiet, and she just goes about her business and just doesn't need a lot of attention. And I'm just really glad that we have Molly Davis on our roster.
Yeah, Coach Don Lund from the Solon Economist. What's the deal about Taylor? When she makes a 3, the whole bench just goes nuts like she won the lottery. And then it seems pretty cool that Hannah's starting to be like a crowd favorite. I mean, she just works so hard and does plays that we haven't seen for a while.
Yeah, I agree with you, Don. I think that people appreciate her effort, and they really love to see young kids come out and do well. And so Hannah definitely, I think she's a crowd favorite because she's fun to watch. I mean, the way she gets off the floor, the way she runs the floor, it's beautiful. I think she is a crowd favorite. Taylor, everybody in the team loves Taylor. I mean, she works so hard for her shots, and we know how good of a shooter she is. So we get excited when she takes those shots. We believe in her, and I'm glad she got one to fall tonight.
Zachary Draves, SB Nation Swish Appeal. Coach, you all had a total of 45 rebounds today. Monica had 8, McKenna had 8, and Caitlin had 7, and Hannah had 5. But Georgia had 48 total rebounds, including one player who had 13 individual rebounds. So I'm wondering, going into Sunday, how vital will rebounding be to your game plan?
Absolutely. They've got some really good rebounders on the Georgia team, and so we have got to make contact and box out because they're exceptional offensive rebounders. I think that's one of their keys. So definitely rebounds are going to be a factor in the next game.
Ethan Petrick, Waterloo Cedar Falls Courier. If you could reflect back on your time as a student athlete at UNI and what it's like to see 14,000 people here to support women's athletics when you started out in the infancy of Title IX.
Yeah, when you're testing my memory a little bit, but we played in the Dome, and I don't know how many the Dome seats, but we'd maybe have 200 people there, if we're lucky, and it's kind of like, back page news, our game, if you could have it there even. So to see where it's come, it's just so rewarding. It's really indescribable how far it's come because it doesn't feel like it's been that long. I know my players would say it's, oh my gosh, 70s. Are you kidding, Coach? But it doesn't feel like it's been that long, but it's just grown by leaps and bounds. And now when you have a player like Caitlin that's so exciting and a team that plays the style that we do, to be able to sell this arena out in, an hour, that's really, when we came here, we dreamed about that. You never know if it's going to happen, and now it's happened. So I loved my days back at UNI, but I'd play in front of this crowd. I'd love it.
Hi, Lisa. Scott Docterman with The Athletic again. I wanted to ask about Gabby Marshall. She hit, I think, the first three-pointer of the game, but more than that, she seemed to be very, very active on the defensive end, had her hands up, was really kind of fronting the guards. What's her impact on the defensive end, and what does she, when she provides that kind of lift offensively, what does she do for your team?
I think everybody was just thrilled to see that first three go in again, because okay, let's just keep going from where we, were at the Big Ten tournament with her shooting. But defensively, she has always worked so hard defensively. She has always, denied really well, ball pressure really well. It's something that we really count on, and we always tell her to focus on that rather than the offense. Because what she brings for us on the defensive end is so important.
Kennington Smith with the Des Moines Register, coach. Caitlin referenced it with Addie O'Grady being somebody who might not play as many minutes as she would like, and I guess across the whole team you have starters that play a lot of minutes. What is the challenge of getting the entire team to stay engaged with what you're doing, and how rewarding is it that everybody gets to play and see success in a game like this?
Yeah, when everybody gets to play in the NCAA tournament, that's good. You just want to give your kids that opportunity, but we really try to make everybody feel valued in our program. And we always say, we don't care if you're the leading scorer or the person that's last off the bench. Everybody is important. And it's when you walk into our locker room, it's one of our values. It's what you see printed on the wall, and it's what they see every single day when they come to practice. We talk about we start and end every practice in a circle because, when we're touching toe-to-toe, there's nobody that's more important than anybody else in that circle. And so we really talk and we work on it a lot, that everybody's valued on our program. And so I love it when our bench goes in and scores 33 points and has that opportunity.
All right, we've got time for one final question.
Kyle Huseman, Hawkeye Report. Lisa, I know you mentioned that you felt like you guys hadn't really, lost a step over the break between the Big Ten tournament to now. How reassuring is it to, have that break, to have a time to rest and recover, but then be able to come in today and still take care of business and look really good?
Yeah, I think sometimes, you can be sitting out for a couple weeks and you can feel like a little bit rusty. But, we scrimmaged our practice squad with officials one day to try to keep them, in that game mentality. But also, I think we really needed the time because it's just, when you win the tournament, you're on such a high, and it takes a while to come down from that. So we really needed the break in order to get our feet back on the ground and focus on the next step ahead.
All right, thanks for joining us today, Coach.
Thank you.
A reminder that the Iowa locker room is still open. Please check with our stewards out front for the remaining time left.